Welcome back to the Sneaky Leak podcast. I'm your host, Elaina.
I'm your other host, Janelle.
I'm Henny.
And today we have a very exciting, very cool guest. We've been so excited just to have you here all week long. We met at Complex Con. The one, the only Salehe.
I'm Mr. Bembury.
Bembury.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, luckily I got to meet you first at Complex Con prior to this arrangement. So I'm glad there was a little bit of energy already exchanged. Mm-hmm. But even coming here, your personality is a lot more chill.
Mm-hmm. I'm ready. So the first thing we discussed when I got here was everyone was like, yeah, so when we've seen you out and about, you look so serious. You're so serious. Which is fascinating because I don't think I'm that serious, and I feel like anyone that knows me would confirm that I'm not serious.
Wait a minute, when's your birthday?
March 10th. I'm a Pisces.
You're a Pisces.
I'm a Pisces, yeah.
You know they're complex.
Very much so. Layered.
Very
We're
complex.
onions.
Yeah, but really good people, though.
Really
good people.
Very, very good people.
This is making sense now. Okay, this is making sense.
So I just wanted to address that first and foremost because pretty much every person in the room confirmed. They were like one person said it, and then the next person was like, yeah, no, you seem serious.
Very serious.
And so I'm glad we got to get that off the table.
Clear that up real quick.
Yes.
Before we get fully started into this episode, please, as always, don't forget to follow us on all of our social media platforms. Instagram, Sneaky Link Pod, YouTube. Please go watch this episode.
Yes.
I think you'll have a really
just don't watch the
time.
reels. Actually ingest. Don't have a judgment off of 30 seconds, bro.
Exactly.
No.
And it's free.
Exactly.
Right
For now.
Get us before we get on Patreon.
Right?
Yeah.
Y'all should be eating this up right now. Sneaky Link Podcast on YouTube and also on our audio platforms, Apple Podcast and Spotify, Sneaky Link Podcast.
Yes.
All right, should we get into it? We're wearing?
Yeah, let's start with what we are wearing. Henny will start us off.
Okay, so I feel bad because can you tell me what number these are?
These are New Balance 1500.
1500. Okay. Look, I love a New Balance, cute. But I don't know all my numbers. I know the ones that are very popular, but I don't know every single number.
I know a 990 and a 2002.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna front right now, but I will say what I love about this shoe is that it reminds me of the core aesthetic of New Balance. When I think of when New Balance was cool before it got trendy, within the last recent years, this is what I think about.
And
so
fun fact, Stephen Smith designed those shoes.
Oh, really? Yes. Okay, well, this I can tell. Let me say that. But when I pulled these out, everyone was like, I really like those. And even when I posted them on Instagram, especially the guys, a lot of guys were replying to this. They're like, those are hard. Yeah. The color balance is fire. And I'm like, they really
the silhouette.
Are. Yeah.
I like the color.
I like this hit of yellow. That hit of yellow, does it for me with these just very tonal colors. I love it. Yeah. Very good. And then just some jeans, a shirt, nothing crazy. This is probably fast fashion if I'm being all the way honest. ALD LA fitted. Let's go fucking Dodgers.
Let's go Dodgers.
Yeah, that's really it. What about you, Salehe? What do you have on?
I am wearing a Sponge Osmosis sneaker.
Nice.
By the brand Sponge, new sneaker brand on the block.
I think I've heard about that.
Go check it out. Look it up. The style of shoes or the sneaker is called the Osmosis. And this is in a Complex Con exclusive colorway.
Yes.
The pants are Satoshi Nakamoto.
Nice.
My buddy's brand. He makes me pants. And the hoodie is also Satoshi Nakamoto. But then I found this cool artist on Instagram. And he does these really cool embroideries that make it look like there's moss growing out.
Can I touch it?
Yeah, please.
It looks really cool.
It kind of feels like
Is
those
this yarn though?
Yeah, that's
feels
what I was wondering.
It's like a yarn.
You know those tufting blankets that people make on Instagram with the gun? It kind of feels like
almost
that.
like carpet almost.
Yeah,
Like,
but it's pretty. It's
interesting.
pretty, yeah. So and hat I just got today, so I put it on immediately. It is by Mutsu, and it's a frog.
I love it. That's a really cool hat. I like that.
I do too. I love all the different prints and things going on with it. It's really cool. Yeah. It complements the outfit.
I also got on some Salehe New Balances. I believe these are the 2002.
Yeah, I know 2002
are of the was the colorway a specific name?
2002 R. The colorway is Water Be the Guide.
Water Be the Guide. I really like these ones. I ended up actually buying these when they came out. So I don't know what brand these pants are. Probably a fast fashion something. Little brown corduroys.
These are TikTok shop ones?
Yes. I ended up finding these because they're extra baggy. I got thick thighs. I need like wide pants.
They come on my algorithm now.
They're really good. I have them in black and brown, and I really like them. And they're kind of like more thin, so like they're good for like even if it is still a little warm.
Yeah.
Little brown tank top, and I have no clue where this little sweater's from.
It's really cute.
It is.
I
like the colors.
Little random sweater. I was trying to be on my earth tones today for our guest. What do you got on, Janelle?
So I also have on a pair of Salehe New Balances.
I like those. Those are so cute.
Clap it up. Clap it up.
I like that purple at the tip. Like,
these are so good. Yeah. I love the variations of the colors on each of these shoes.
Those are the 530s.
Yeah, these are the Prosperity Be the Prize.
Yes.
Yeah, I like these a lot. Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah, the colors are hitting for me.
Pants are Urban Outfitters.
Okay.
My friend took them in for me on the waist because the back gap was.
Shout out to Taylor.
Yes. And then I have on a Disney shirt celebrating their 70th anniversary still. It has Disneyland's birthday on it. And then it has the OG rides on the back of it,
looks
too.
like a vintage shirt.
Yeah, I know, right? Cool. Yeah, I like it a lot. That's why I grabbed it because it looked vintagey and stuff. So we're still.
Yeah, they got 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Right? Yeah, it's all the rides that opened the park.
Wow, that's cute. That is cute. We're Disney people. Sorry,
I can
Yeah,
she's really like a Disney. Like
she's the president of Disney. She's the president.
Do you have any of those passes where you can go because you spent?
I do have an annual pass.
Yeah.
It's
they
called
both do.
Magic Key now.
Mm-hmm.
And what kind of memorabilia do you have? Is it just the ears, or do you have like?
I've had a pass since I was in high school. The one year I didn't have a pass is when they closed the parks down during the pandemic, and so they organized their whole annual pass system. So I didn't get it the first year, but I've been a pass holder ever since,
Can you share a story about one of the characters breaking character ever?
Ooh. Damn. Well, they don't work there anymore, but I've seen one of the characters talk because they knew one of my family members, so they were saying goodbye to them because it was his last shift.
They're not allowed to talk?
Not in like the
not in costume.
not in like the whole.
They're the princess when they're in uniform.
It was. I think he was like Goofy or something.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, but I heard him say like goodbye, and I was like, oh shit. I hope no one else heard this because this would have been crazy. A little kid would have been crying or something. Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy.
Because don't they have like really strict rules about staying in character?
Yeah.
Apparently you're not supposed to, if they hug a kid, you can't let go first.
They can't let go until the kid lets go first.
Crazy.
Yeah. But that's mainly like for the princesses and stuff too, because that's that actual face.
I see a lot of the videos like online, and it's like sometimes like kids with like special needs, and the way they hug them, I'm like, oh my heart.
I've seen those too.
Oh my god.
Have you been to Disney?
Yes.
Okay.
But no shade to Disneyland. But after going to Disney World,
oh my god,
Disneyland, I wouldn't say the word is disappointment, but it's unexpected scale.
Yeah. Have you been to Tokyo Disney?
No.
Oh my god, eats them all up.
Yeah.
The best one.
Really?
As well.
Yeah, it's so good. It's just, I feel like the magic in that park is way different from the magic in the other parks. Mm-hmm. It's good, and the snacks are really good over there.
Nice.
Big nice.
But yeah, okay, enough Disney. We are here. I mean, you have a book. You have your brand coming out in your shoes. You have your book is it already released, or it was just at Complex? It has recently released.
The brand has released. The book released about 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
And now I'm in the midst of a book tour brand launch.
Yeah.
Trying to dispel these serious guy rumors with every conversation. But then I also think it's like valuable to have these conversations, because I think with my brand, my audience is pretty familiar with my work. They may be familiar with like what I look like, but not too many of them are familiar with my personality. So I think it's good to, pull back the curtain a little bit and, have some laughs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do this sometimes.
It's all good. I'm a dog person. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I love that. He hears the dogs outside and then he wants to get all worked
Yeah. Sometimes he knocks over stuff, so we have to
be camera.
He literally fell off the couch one time.
No, let him join.
Yeah.
Let him be involved. But okay, so what was the inspo behind the book?
So it's a 15-year retrospective of my work. It's like it's representative of a journey. It represents the periods of time in my career where I didn't know what I was doing. Wait, should we handle this fly?
No, do you want to hear the? Oh my God, the fly lore right now. This fly's been in my house for 2 days, and I'm like, why are you?
I thought they were supposed to die after 24 hours.
I tried to kill him 3 times already. We've been battling this fly.
Just open that.
There was a fly.
And then another one will fly in.
Oh, true.
2 weeks ago. So
I swear, the same fly. And I never get flies in my house, but for some reason, when we came back from Complex Con, I'm like, where the fuck did this fly come from? And he has not died.
I think that's just gonna make the podcast better because now they'll just see us like dodging and swiping.
It's fucking fly. If it's alive tomorrow, I'm gonna be livid.
And it's one of those slow moving flies that like
it is.
Yeah.
You can see it.
You can tell it's not nervous.
Yeah.
I'm dead.
Maybe that means it's dying.
Sorry, not to interrupt.
No, I brought it. No, I addressed it. Yeah, it's okay.
I'm glad you saw it too.
Yeah.
He
I
did.
was like,
all of our eyes started shifting.
Yeah.
No, because I saw you tried to dodge it, but like keep it together. I was like, let's address the fly.
It's just so funny.
oh my God.
What was I talking about? Book.
But
So yeah, a journey. I always wanted to be a footwear designer. The book is illustrating that. It's illustrating me graduating school and starting my first gig, and it just being about simply a paycheck and a place to go to work and something to get a paycheck from,
Yeah.
And then every job kind of got a little bit better. I discuss losing the jobs, unemployment, getting fired, quitting, some success, working for all of the different brands that I have. It's about 18 different stops, a lot of photos. And then I want it to be, and I believe it is going to be a kind of Bible for a young designer that's just trying to figure things out. Because I don't think there are that many books in our space. Like there's like a couple over there, but I would say there's maybe 15 total.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm pretty excited to have a book that is joining this group of impactful books in the space.
Yeah. We got a little visual of it so far. It looked really cool. Opened up a few pages.
Yeah. I can't wait to read it.
Yeah, I like how it shows all of the art that you've done and like the way it was broken down and brought to life.
Thank you.
I thought that was really interesting.
What made you choose now to drop the book? Or make a book?
It seemed kind of appropriate, maybe even a little bit overdue. I'd gone to so many different places, and the diversity in the places that I worked at were kind of unique because I went from like startup to Yeezy to corporation to Cole Haan. There were so many different spaces that I spent the whole time learning, and I was like, you know what? I think not only is it important for me to share this information because there's a whole generation of younger designers that are trying to figure it out, and this is all kind of like a video game, and like there are different like cheat codes. So whether it's like A B up down, like they don't work for everybody, but I try to share them so that people can figure out what route they're taking to their destination.
How did it feel like revisiting 15 years of history, creating this book? Like, was there anything that like came to your attention that like maybe you didn't realize at the time?
Well, I think it's funny because like now we all have Instagrams where we kind of curate this image where people. I feel like I'm not acknowledging you. I'm going to turn this off.
No, I'm here. Don't worry. Don't worry.
We're just listening.
We're here. Don't worry.
I feel like people are just like curating their images to be like their perfect selves. But what did you look like 3 years ago? What did you look like 6 years ago? So this book, it being 15 years, I've really not only gotten to look back at those photos, but then also the kind of like the wild style chapters that I went through because we all haven't dressed like this forever, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And so, just getting to see that and the different looks and the different gigs and even the whole seriousness thing that we were talking about. It's funny because a friend pointed this out, but there's a point in the book where you can see that I start taking myself too seriously. I don't know what chapter it is. You can kind of see it, but like just in the pictures, I just look like very chin up, like serious.
Maybe that's why everyone thought you were so serious.
But that was a while ago. This was like 10 years ago. He was talking about 3 years ago. Right? He was talking about like 3 years ago. So even just kind of getting to see that, and then like as things progressed, and maybe experience success, travel, whatever. All of a sudden now I'm smiling.
Right.
And so like it's the transition of maybe just becoming a little bit more comfortable within self and then the relationship with the fan or the audience or whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
I don't know if I answered the question. I started rambling.
No,
That's completely
I feel like
fine.
that makes sense because, like, to your point, you know, we look back on photos from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and we're like, what the fuck were we doing?
Even like when we started the pod, Elaina was just talking about her hair color. It was just so much darker.
My hair goes through every
every
so many months because I get it redone, and it's like a small.
Yesterday, we shot with Sally Sneakers, and she.
Oh my God, yes.
She went
She'll
through
be our
all her
next
outfits
guest.
from like, I don't know, over the last, let's say 5 to 6 years, and she was just like, oh my God, this is so cringe.
I'm not sure if you remember who she is.
Wait, isn't Sally she's from Copenhagen?
Yes,
Yeah,
oh my God,
she
it's
does
so
not have an accent. That's not an accurate accent.
Did she talk about her face reveal?
Yes,
Yeah,
she
she did. Like, we love Sally. Yeah, she did. She went into it.
Me and Sally have been friends for a very long
And
time.
I think even just like the psychological aspect of like putting yourself out there for people, you know, and the judgment that comes back and everything. And I think, you know, to your point, like everyone wants to curate a vibe and come out as like this perfect thing online. And, you know, it's really hard mentally when people are just rude in the comments and not receptive to what you put out there.
When you were like digging stuff up in like your early years, like, do you wish you documented more?
So my dad's a photographer.
Yeah, well,
And so I've almost been conditioned to document way before we all became conditioned to document because of social media, right?
Nice.
And so that's actually what made this book so easy is because for a very long time I've been documenting. It's on a hard drive. It's organized. I don't know if I was like preparing for a book moment, but I felt like it made sense. Like do you guys take a picture with all the guests you've had?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, like we'll take a picture
on the
like
couch.
for the thumbnail at the end of this of us on the couch and everything. And like we haven't done it in a while because we didn't get to do it this time at Complex. But I ended up getting like, you know how you can print the Polaroids now off your phone. So we did some of those and ran into the people that we did
had them sign
interview and then we had them sign it. So we were kind of like trying to add those little moments and everything. But we do try. We aren't the best at it sometimes, but
Because you could you guys probably will be making your own book in like 3 years, 5 years,
That would be
whatever.
amazing.
That would be
So
so
document
awesome.
now.
Let's manifest.
Because what will seem like an insignificant photo of you guys just eating pizza or something, we'll be like, oh my God, look at us 5 years ago. Like, you know?
How did it feel
Noted.
seeing like the growth from then and now? Like, was there? I'm trying to think of like the right way to say this. I don't know. Was there a point where you were just like, I don't fuck with this at all anymore, or do you feel like everything was like a part of like where you got now?
I think it's like when making a book and like in retrospect, it's real nice to make it all sound like poetic, like I was
Yeah.
you know, like I was taking my destiny in my own hands. You know? That's not really what it was. It was really just like treading water, trying to stay afloat, seizing the opportunities that were put in front of me. And yeah, there were so many times where I was like, fuck this, because just getting fired, being on unemployment. And then for me, because I've wanted this my entire life, footwear design gives me purpose. Like, so when I'm not doing it professionally, or maybe it's not the same amount of partners or whatever it is, there was a period of time where that would fuck with my self-worth.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so,
100%.
now I don't really have the same relationship with it, but yeah, that was difficult to deal with for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your favorite project you work on, or the one you're most proud of to say?
I think I kind of like love them all equally, but the Crocs, just because they were so mass. Like,
I feel like you really changed the trajectory of Crocs.
Oh no, 100%.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
I'm gonna let you guys say it.
Without a doubt.
I mean, in footwear in general, because no one was fucking with Crocs like that. Some people were.
No,
People were, but not,
but
not in the streetwear space.
Yeah,
Crocs
exactly.
went bankrupt and started pulling all of their kiosks out of mall because they were
My cousin used to work out.
Like, I remember all this because like my mom would buy my nieces and nephews Crocs, and it was kind of just, you know, like, oh yeah, they're easy for kids. And I remember I'm like, oh shit, they're going bankrupt. Like, what's gonna happen to Crocs? And then all of a sudden it was just like this resurgence of Crocs, and like they're everywhere. I mean, you've done some amazing things. I mean, we've seen
Changed
so
the
many
whole
collabs.
silhouette.
Yeah, you changed the silhouette entirely.
What?
And like my brother is like a really big fan of you. I think he has every freaking Croc you dropped. Like, I swear. And then we got my dad in them, and my dad.
Oh, really?
My dad's a size 15. Keep in mind, in shoes, so he'd be wearing them all the time too.
Yeah.
But I think Crocs would be very proud of?
Yeah, no, I think so. I was gonna say, I was honestly taken aback by that rant. So thank you so much. But no, during that period of time, like I got a whole bunch of DMs from people telling me how, or DMs, comments, whatever, telling me how these are the first Crocs that they've ever worn.
Yeah.
And that is so valuable because conversion is what it's called when you can actually get a consumer to convert to your brand. That's like the most difficult thing to do in product.
It is.
And I was getting messages all the time like, yo, like this is the first time I've worn Crocs. So it was super valuable. And then what was also great about creating that shoe was the fact that it was not only a shoe, it was like a design language. So then we've been able to create other silhouettes like the kid's shoe or the saru or the boot or the slide. And so, I would say that was definitely an impactful one.
Okay. I love that.
It was perfect timing too, because I remember this is still like coming out of the pandemic-ish, and people were all about comfort and just like sliding shit on and going. So like when those dropped, it was just perfect timing because that's what everyone was on at that time anyways, when it came to just like footwear in general. Because like me working in this space, especially during that time, so many people were coming in looking for things like that. That's why Birks rose up the way they did. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it was just amazing timing too. So
I think in that, like, you know, like you said, Birks was coming up in that like mule type of slide, and we were coming out of like open-toed slides that everyone and their mama was. I had so many other different slides, but like once Crocs came on the scene and like your silhouette and it was completely redesigned, and it's funky, it's fun. It like you could really put that on with like a day outfit and it goes, and you can wear it casually,
dress it up or down,
dress it up
100%.
or down. And I think that was something we've never seen with Crocs in that sense. And I love it because it's like you don't do the gibbet things on yours either.
So I wasn't a fan of the gibbets because
I'm not either.
It felt a little unserious, but then they told me the amount of money that gibbets make for them a year. It was like, I think it's like $300 million or something.
Damn.
So after they told me that, I was like, let's make some gibbets.
You said, let's get some goddamn gibbets on here.
Because I love gibbets. I got a New York one when I was there.
Yeah, it's funny because I think I got my first pair of Crocs during the pandemic and I didn't even buy them. A good friend of mine ended up buying me a pair and she put a bunch of gibbets on them. And I was like, these are kind of cute. And then it kind of like went from there.
Spirals,
So yeah, the gibbets do
I like
make
mine's
sense.
plain though. But I understand the gibbets thing though. Yeah. Because it's cool. It brings personality.
It's personal.
Yeah, it's personality.
And they were coming out with some crazy. Have you seen the gibbets where it's like a fucking speaker on the shoe? And
No.
I've seen a speaker gibbet and it's a music playing out of their
That's amazing.
I'm taking off the hoodie. It's too hot.
It's fine. I'm sorry. I know.
Totally fine.
It's so, I don't know why it's so goddamn hot in here. I think it's because it's 90 degrees outside
It's
today.
super hot.
Today it's hot as hell in fucking
I'm
LA,
like, should
bro.
I just shut all the blinds?
I'm pissed. I'm going back to Portland to the rain and the cold and shit. Like this is pissing me
Here
off.
comes the fly. Oh my god. I know. I'm like, this fucking sweater.
I'm fine, actually.
Okay.
For
I'm
one,
doing well.
which says a lot. There has to be something up with the air conditioning because
I'm good.
Janelle's usually
it's
cold. So if
fucking
you're not
here.
cold and I have it down to 68, something ain't right.
I don't know. You might need to bring out the electrician. Whoever does that. Or HVAC. That's HVAC. My bad.
Fucking Henny.
God.
So, I mean, since we won't stay on Crocs too long, but was there something when you came to Crocs and you did all that you learned from that experience that you hadn't taken away from some like other designing before?
I learned from the Crocs experience. I think it was just pretty valuable to, like we were talking about it earlier, like pop my bubble. Because the majority of people that were familiar with my work, they were sneaker people or they were hype people.
Yeah.
And with Crocs, all of a sudden I would just have like someone's auntie being like, Salehe. you know? And so I think the value of just being able to, speak to a new audience allowed me to just, take on other projects and, expand my brand.
It definitely did.
But we'll continue on. One of the things is, how do you balance the creativity with commercial goals?
Ooh, okay, cool. So I remember when I first became a footwear designer, I thought that being a footwear designer meant that I was just going to like draw whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
But within working with any brand, you kind of have to like assume their signature. So if you work for Reebok, the shoe that you make has to in some way, shape, or form feel like a Reebok.
Yeah, the DNA of it, yeah.
But then when you're a collaborator, it's a little different. And so I find myself trying to balance like my personal taste with being somewhat commercial, because in most cases, people are afraid to wear color.
Yeah.
So like, how are you supposed to, how are you supposed to inject like niche form or, different things that might intimidate the majority of the consumer? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like in footwear, we say you make the pink shoe to sell the brown and the black shoe. So there's going to be a small audience of people that buy that pink shoe, but for the most part, people want brown and black. So it really is about balance and restraint.
Okay. Yeah. I like that. And like, obviously you use like nature and earthy tones, like on a lot of your stuff. How does that, like the texture and all of that, really influence what you do and bring that to life?
So I'm a New Yorker. Grew up on the trains and the streets of Tribeca. And so, I didn't have the closest relationship with nature, but then you move to Los Angeles and you guys know 15 minutes away in most places. So I started hiking, sharing it on my social media. Because the outdoor space is a very like old white man occupied space, I think it was like polarizing for people to just simply see me out there. Like, is he lost? You know? And so through that, I think I was indirectly and unintentionally inspiring a group of people. Of people that may have been outdoors with their girlfriend or boyfriend or family when they were younger. And now they want to try it out, but like maybe they don't feel the most welcome or they don't know where to go. And so I found that indirectly my experiences were influencing a lot of people to just like experience the outdoors. And that doesn't necessarily mean like a mountain or a hiking. It could simply mean just like a park. Riding a bike. And so it initially became like some inspiration of my audience. And then it indirectly started inspiring my work with color or textures or, but it wasn't like this intentional thing where I was going to the outdoors being like, where can I get this inspiration from? It was more just like, the environment anyone finds themselves in will inspire them on a certain level.
Yeah. I like that. We have a friend who promotes that a lot too, like to your point of like seeing a lot of white people in those spaces, especially in outdoors. Evelyn has a hike club. And it's for for, black, brown people of color to be outdoors and get acclimated to that because it is not a custom like in the culture usually for people to be hiking or in the wilderness or earth stuff. So I like that you be pointing that out in your work. What's an unreleased design that still means something to you?
An unreleased design that still means something to me. I was about to talk about Yeezy, but I feel like all these goddamn interviews I've been doing just keep like clipping Yeezy shit.
Oh yeah, no, we won't do that.
So okay, I'll talk about Yeezy. So that was a job where similar to my innovation job at Cole Haan. Some jobs, everything you work on doesn't see the light of day, or in fact, like a lot of the things you work on don't see the light of day. So. I remember having a lot of projects at Yeezy that were like cool and seemed like they had potential to be really cool, but then didn't see the light of day. I'm not gonna say like what they were. But we made a lot of like that was definitely just like a product factory of just like making ideas and bringing them to life. And he was a big believer in like 3D printing and just rapid prototyping just to understand like what something could be. 3D printing is like an amazing resource because you can take what's on a piece of paper and actually hold it. That's how I've like presented a lot of work for the first time because. If you're speaking with someone that maybe doesn't speak the jargon of footwear or doesn't know how to like have that conversation, if you just hand it to them, there's really no conversation needed. So it's a good tool.
Like quite quick and easy. I want to talk about these a little bit more because I don't feel like we did too much. But like, what was the inspiration behind these specifically and the name?
So I'll give a little bit more context. So with my collaborations with things that have my name on it. It allows me to push the needle for a few reasons. It's a collaboration, so the quantities aren't that high. It's a collaboration, so you can push it and kind of like take chances because a lot of the time when a brand is trying to maybe sell a new product, maybe that shoe right there, and they need to sell like 70,000 units, they cannot take chances. They cannot play around with the wrong color. There's a lot of data-driven decisions. But with collaborations, you can really have fun. You can make an all red shoe, you can make an all blue shoe, right? And then you can tell a story and that'll engage an audience. And so I'm kind of doing this weird transition / change of language as I've been kind of describing it because my audience is familiar with hype, exclusion, me pulling like something behind my back and being like, right? And now I'm doing something. So now I'm doing something that's always on and going to eventually be available to anyone that wants it. And so I'm looking at the question because I feel like I just lost it.
Oh no, I don't even think it was on there. I'm sorry. I because I was like,
the shoes. The shoes.
I don't feel like we got to ask too many questions
get more
about
into the brand.
I don't want to skip over that and talk about all the other brands and everything.
So these shoes are, I think, a representation of balance. It's 100% like my taste and design ideology, and maybe even reminiscent of some stuff I've done in the past. But it's an exercise of restraint because we're trying to speak to a larger audience.
Yeah.
And considering that a lot of audiences are afraid to wear color, like we could go to like a food court right now, and if we looked around, like if there was 100 people, there'd be like 5 people wearing color.
Yeah.
Right. And so considering all of those things, this shoe is a result of that. And I wanted to basically make a vehicle for people that do, people that make, people that create, people that are curious. We live in a time now where people are just constantly doom scrolling on a 3-inch screen.
Yeah.
Their minds are like running through fields and thinking about all the things that they could do, but they're not doing anything at all, and life is passing them by. So I am fascinated with people that are actually proactive. Even with a lot of the brands I work with, like I never get too obsessed with what people's titles are because I think it's really about, are you a doer or are you not?
Are you not?
And so with this brand, I would like to engage an audience, a way larger audience, because like I said before, it's been about exclusion, a way larger audience of people that are just simply curious and want to be involved in this story that we're about to tell.
Yeah.
Is it more of an all-purpose shoe?
So I would say it's an all-purpose lifestyle shoe.
Okay.
So I didn't want to dive fully into like, this is a hiking shoe.
Yeah.
Because again, that's exclusion. But it's a very good hiking shoe. You know,
So still hike in
you can
it,
hike in it. And, so yeah, I just kind of wanted to make it as universal as possible.
Okay.
I like that.
I know it's not on there, and I don't want to drift too far off.
No, drift.
But what the name Sponge? Where did that come from?
So I think the most valuable thing you can be is a sponge. Constantly absorbing.
Makes sense.
I love that.
And so that's why it's appropriate that the book is kind of happening at the same time, because the last 15 years, like 18 different stops, both like full-time jobs and collaborative. And during that entire period of time, I was being a sponge. I was constantly learning, absorbing, soaking up. And so now this brand is going to be representative of that.
Of all of that.
Of the products, the marketing. It's going to be like somewhat of a regurgitation of the things that have worked on me when I was a consumer. And other things will be just simply things that I learned at Yeezy about how to disrupt, or high fashion, about how to like obsess over detail, or all of those things.
Are you going to get into apparel as well?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So since my background is industrial design, so
You're industrial designer.
Yeah, industrial design. So very versatile. But I feel like a lot of people tell me that I'm kind of like a world builder.
Okay.
And I don't think it should stop at shoes.
Why did my brother say something so similar? He was just like, not to interrupt.
No,
I'm sorry.
please,
I feel like I keep interrupting, but like, I was on the phone with him earlier, and he's like, yeah, he like curates the room. It's not like he builds one thing. He's like, he does this and that. Like I was like, oh, okay, so it just very to your point, like of like the world type.
No,
shit.
have you ever seen that like Virgil conversation where he talks about like the can?
Yes.
It's similar to that almost.
When the can's in a museum.
Yeah. So that's what it somewhat reminds me of. Yes.
Yeah. So and then it's also kind of like design language. So I've had people tell me they see a certain color, they see a certain like form or shape, and they're like, oh, that's Salehe.
Yeah.
To me, that's the most like fascinating external point of view, because like I can't see that. Like only like my audience can. So I love kind of like just learning what I'm putting out there and how it's being received.
So we're gonna get more than just shoes. We're gonna get more than just apparel. We're
shoes,
gonna get
apparel, potentially like furniture.
That's dope.
That'd be
I
really
fuck with that. But I feel like that's what you like, knowing your like aesthetic. That's what I would expect from you, to be honest. I would expect more than just what we can put on our feet. You know what I mean? And that's cool. I fuck with that. I love when we can like get different things. Like I'm an accessories girl anyway. So like I love having just like things that you just never knew you needed, and it's like this actually makes so much sense in my life.
I love gadgets
So
and stuff.
Steve Jobs has a famous quote that says the consumer doesn't know what they want until you show it to them.
Exactly.
And so I think the Croc my Croc is a perfect example of that. You know what I mean? And so I think that's a great opportunity with all of these accessories or interior things that we can create things that the consumer doesn't even realize they want.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true.
I love that.
How was there any fears when you were starting Sponge, especially coming out with the whole new
the fears
silhouette,
Bringing
a whole
a
new
silhouette into this game
footwear.
is really hard.
So for one, I'm feeling all the emotions, excitement, fear, all the things. The fear is constant. you just asked me, so tell me about your new sponge osmosis. And I'm like, okay, I got to give the,
You're like, okay, let me
you know what I mean? So
Elevator pitch.
the fear always exists. But I think it's necessary. I think that if I wasn't
100%.
afraid then I wouldn't care. There's definitely like a great Will Smith quote about fear that we should insert like here.
insert below.
Here. But it basically says something along the lines of like glory or something is on the other side of fear. And it's so true. There's this Instagram video or this like Instagram page where it's like this free diving company in Utah. And the person has like a little stick camera and they have the instructor attached to them. And for instance, it might just be like a teacher from Boston. And he'll be like, all right, like, Martha, how you feeling? And she's like, I don't know, like, I just lost this, or I'm so scared, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, all right, are you ready? And she's like, I don't know. And then she jumps, and she lets out this massive shriek. But then all of a sudden, she's free.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And she's so happy, and she's crying, and it's like, wow, like, that fear was like, you know, just 5 seconds, and it was the biggest wall ever. But as soon as she climbed it, like I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. But as soon as she,
I'm into this.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
like,
As soon as she climbed it, it was like she was a new person. And you like watching, it's called like Moab something, I forget, but watching it, you feel it because you're like, you feel her fear so much. But then as soon as she conquers it, you're like, holy shit, like I can, you know, really inspirational.
That's crazy. I just told you.
It's what's the thing where you jump off and then there's like it's not
parachute?
it's not a parachute. It's one of those parachutes that look like that.
Yeah.
It's just gliding
Yeah.
through the
Like kind of not. Is it
And the guy's got the thing and he's like,
parasailing?
Oh, yeah,
I know what
yeah.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yes.
It's not base jumping either, right?
It's-
That's something else.
free diving? No, that's not. That's in water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay. We'll look up the name.
She had a big
Insert
jump.
the name right here.
So, like she did that. Okay, so
But I just told you that I just went to New York for my first time. It's because I've had a fear of flying. And so what you just said is actually kind of, I mean, obviously very much true, you know, like New York was a big trip for me because it's literally on the other side of the country.
Yeah.
Why'd you
know?
start with such a long flight?
Well, the thing is, my first flight was to Florida. Went on a family cruise, and this was like pre-Panny. And so since then, I haven't really been back on one, on a plane at all. I was very scared then, though. But I think pandemic, like my anxiety like changed between then. So for my 30th birthday last year, I went back to Florida and I went to Walt Disney World. So that was like my big like 30s, like I'm not gonna be scared anymore, you know? So I was still very terrified. But I told myself this year that like, you know, now newly in my 30s, like I want to experience
Travel more.
travel more. I want to experience places that have been like, or the things that I've been holding myself back on like doing and stuff. So New York was like my big one because I really wanted to go to New York Comic Con. My friends have been hounding me for the past year about going. So I was like, this is why this is like a big trip for me. So I get the like release of like finally like doing something that you've been fearing for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like, I mean, yes, you did a great job. I'm so happy you went to
Thank
New York.
you. Thank
But
you.
I feel like jumping out and like,
That is very totally different.
because I'm like, you want to plane for 6 hours just like,
I'm not going to jump off of anything like that.
But the ability being able to conquer it.
It's
I saw this video where there was this woman and she was on a yoga mat laying on the ground in like a crowded New York City intersection. And then some other woman comes up to her and she's like, what are you doing? And she was like, I read a rejection therapy book and it said if you do these 10 things, then the small little like awkward silences of life aren't going to bother you because you've dealt with these things.
Right.
So, wow, it's kind of crazy, but she was literally just laid out on the corner in a very busy intersection and everyone's like looking at her like she's nuts.
Yeah.
But then after that 15 minutes, she's like a step closer to not giving a fuck about eye contact or something. You know what I mean? Like,
have you seen those videos people have been doing where they're like, you forget you have free will and then they go and they do like, they just do random shit. Like, it's so funny. Like, this girl I know, she was running, I think the Chicago Marathon. She's like, remembering you have free will during the marathon, took off, went to McDonald's, went inside, got a McFlurry, came back out and finished the marathon. Like, it's really crazy. We box ourselves in so much and it's like, we have free will. Like we could step the fuck out of this and like conquer that shit and do it.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's so funny. Yeah. But to also go back to your shoes though and having a new like footwear brand out there, I think that speaks a lot to like what you've done for so long too. I feel like people sometimes want to stay in that box of just being a collaborator. You know, it's a new fear of making something yourself, especially with big behemoths like all the big dogs out here.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, I think, but maybe it's like at every stage, sometimes you just don't have the education to know that. Because I think there are people that maybe don't have brand deals that are thinking like, they're at home right now, like, how can I get a brand deal? I actually often get messages. Someone just messaged me before I got here. It'll be funny because he'll know that I'm talking about him. But anyway, but then, you know, for me as a collaborator, for a very long time, I was like, what does starting a brand even look like?
Yeah.
And how do I accomplish that? So I think it's really more about the game existing or being shared.
Yeah.
Because I found, like, I'm 39, like I found the generation above mine was not about sharing game. Whereas
gatekeeping.
But it's I want to speak about gatekeeping.
Okay,
Table
okay,
that.
okay.
Table that. But I think it's
gatekeeping.
important to share game because, you know, not only do we have all this information at our fingertips, but again, it's like that those things that you kind of learn along the way are so valuable, and they're not really in any books because they're so specific. Gatekeeping. I think gatekeeping is necessary
100%
because not everything is for everyone.
It's not.
I think that because of the internet and social media, now everyone believes that they should have access to everything. And I think that knowing about certain things or having access to certain things take years
100%
of passion or curiosity or relationships or someone even identifying that you care so that the thing doesn't get diluted. You know, like my scent, I gatekeep it because I remember when like Le Labo became big. I feel like I was one of the first people, probably not, but in my head. And I felt like that it made me like unique. And then everyone started wearing it, right?
Yeah.
You know, so now, and then like for instance, my hike I do often, I gatekeep that because there's like 2 people on it on a crowded day.
Right.
And so
I almost was going to ask where do you hike, but then I was like, I don't want people to know where this is.
Maybe we can
I was almost going to ask.
we'll show like the footage of it here. I don't know if you guys clip in stuff. But
She does.
Yeah, we
She
do.
does all
We
of
do.
her editing.
Okay.
So
So tell me what you want.
yeah, anything you want us like to clip in, send to Henny and she
Yeah, we'll get it together for you.
But that was my train of thought. Bring me back.
Gatekeeping.
Okay, boom. And so I think it has this negative connotation where people make it seem like, oh, you don't want people to like have what you have, and it's not really about that. I just think that we live in a time now where people don't really prioritize being an individual.
Absolutely.
They definitely don't.
And to be an individual, sometimes you have to gatekeep because if not, you're looking at Jack. Your
Complex
swag.
Con really showed that too this year. I saw so many people of duplications. Let's say there's 10 things in the room, right? It was all duplications of that, and maybe 0.01% of people were actually there being them authentic selves. And when I say just being your authentic self, I mean just not being scared to just be you and just be comfortable in that. And it's so fucking crazy as time progresses how much we are seeing less of people just being themselves. You're an individual when you are yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think that's really interesting.
No, it's really interesting. And a lot of the time, if you just get anyone to show you a picture of them like 2 years even, 2 years ago, they most likely will not look like the same person.
Absolutely
Yeah.
not. Yeah, we see it all the time. We've obviously been in the little sneaker community for quite some years, and we've seen people come through and wear all these really hype sneakers and build themselves up online as this like person, and then they just like fall out of love with sneakers randomly and they're on to the next trend. And it's just like all these trends are just coming and going, and the people who don't know themselves and can't fit themselves somewhere specifically are just cycling with those trends onto the next. Hey.
Okay. Oh.
Hey.
You want to say something?
Right.
You have anything to add? Okay.
He is an individual.
He is. I have a question though. Like as far as like, let's say being like a designer for a brand versus like being a collaborator at a brand, like of the two, like is there one more than you like than the other, or like being a collaborator and having that design experience, like working with different brands, has it kind of set you apart from other collaborators since you have more like actual training and actually understand what's happening?
Yeah. They're 2 different jobs. So the working for a brand job is, at least this is how I consider myself. I was a hired assassin, accurate shot. But that's all I really did. And the goal was to satisfy the brand, satisfy the consumer, identify the consumer. Often the consumer had a name, made a certain amount of money a year, lived in a certain place, so you could really like tailor make shit for that person. It was identifying trends.
100%.
And it was really just trying to like fall into line with what their overall like brand directive
Agenda.
was, whatever. Yeah. But with collaborations, now it's like I'm the excitement.
Yeah.
So like, how do I bring that? What does that look like for me? What does packaging look like? These are all the kinds of questions I had to ask myself in the beginning, which I kind of like figured out. I think one way I differentiate myself from a lot of collaborators is that I actually I make from scratch.
Right.
And I always try to like make it very clear that I'm not calling it a better or worse, because some of the best partnerships of our time are color ups.
Yeah.
So not better or worse, but the Croc or the Halle or whatever else, like these are products that are representative of a white piece of paper.
Right.
So I repeat that a lot because I feel like the larger audience doesn't understand the difference. Like the same way that even with those, like I collaborated on those. That's my New Balance, but I did not design those shoes. That's a Steven Smith design.
Right.
And so just understanding
that already exists.
Yeah, understanding the difference, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I get that. I would assume, being a collaborator, you feel like you have more freedom in that space when it comes to like what you actually can do, since there's not like a quote unquote agenda that you have to maybe stick to. Because I know with some brands, like when you go to Nike or Jordan, like they're like, hey, this is the year for, you know, the 95, or this is the year for, you know, the 1 or whatever. And we were aligned with these silhouettes, and this is what you can play on. Like when you're collabing with like a New Balance or a Croc or whoever, did you have more, I guess, jurisdiction and just creativity, control, and freedom to do what you wanted to do on like multiple different silhouettes? Or was it more so like an agenda as well that you had to stick with, like when you were actually an employee at these brands?
You get I don't call it leash. I've said leash, but that sounds right. But you get a little bit more leash, a little bit more trust with a history of wins, maybe like proof of concept. So to personalize it, like the first 2 New Balance collabs were like the 2002 R.
Okay.
I picked that shoe. There was a lineup of shoes. That was what I picked because no one was really working on it. Because they usually will show you like 5 or 6 shoes, like a 990, whatever. And then I saw that I think a lot of people were working on the 990, so I didn't want to do that because I felt like that would kind of dilute what I was doing.
Right.
So I did that. They both did very well. And then because they both did well, because they saw the packaging, because they saw the storytelling, the Jesse Williams, all that, then they were like, can you make something from scratch? And I think that's representative of them being like, okay, like he did 2 collaborations. They did real well. He gets marketing, he gets packaging, he gets all that stuff. And he's a designer. So now let's allow him to like make something from scratch. So that was the yurt. That was the one with the whistle on it.
Okay.
Yep. I remember those.
Yeah,
So that was like representative of like kind of having to make something from scratch. It had a New Balance 574 foundation. And then the backstory for that is, you guys know the Cold Wall Zoom Vomero?
Yep. I love.
Yes.
So pissed I could never get those because they started in a men's 6 and they had like the thing on the back.
On the back,
Bruh, I was pissed. But like, sorry. You triggered me. I'm so sorry.
Yes. Yeah. Don't come in our sizes.
Sneaker trauma.
Yeah. Because I really wanted those.
Yeah.
But continue. Sorry.
I feel like you almost have to, almost like get a smaller Vomero and then just like glue that on.
Maybe just, but I really genuinely liked some of the colorways they had came out with, but whatever. Yeah.
But I saw that shoe and I saw that thing on the back and I was like, this is crazy. Like no one's ever really utilized this real estate on the shoe.
Raf Simons too. He did it at Adidas.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, and it doesn't do anything. This is crazy. And people are accepting it. So I was like, what if it did something? And so I started just thinking of like introducing electricity, or if the shoe had a knife on it. Electricity would make the shoe really expensive. If it had a knife, it wouldn't be realistic. Yeah. So then I was like, how could you manipulate the plastic to do something? The whistle. And so created the whistle before it really even had a purpose. I was just like, it'd be very cool to have a whistle on your shoe. Yeah. And then I thought about the fact that if you're hurt or if you're trying to find your friends, that blowing a whistle would be way more effective than trying to scream.
Yeah.
You know, so it actually, you're like arming yourself with a tool.
Yeah.
And then simultaneously, this is like me, I'm like hiking and camping a lot. So I think my brain's like actively thinking of ways that I could like influence this experience. And so, yeah, that's what that was.
Okay.
I like that.
Me too. I know you got a little bit of a head step on a lot of these guys. No shade to anyone out there, but the fact that you have training and you've been doing this for so long, I think it really shows in the product, because you see a lot of people that come through with collaborations, and we all are having collaborative fatigue at this point because it's so much, and it's been just too much over the last, couple of years. Yeah. But with someone like yourself, you withstand like time. You're still here because you can clearly see that you come from this, that you've been doing this. So I think we'll continue to see things coming from you. And you also know how to pivot. I will give you that, because a lot of designers and a lot of seriously, they don't know how to pivot and they don't know when to pivot. So I applaud you on knowing how to pivot, because that's how you stay relevant and that's how you continue to make good products. So good for you.
So for one, thank you very much. Amazingly said. I think consumer fatigue is very real. I think Jeff Stable had like a good little like string of tweets the other day about it, but you know, brands just aren't really investing in storytelling anymore.
We see it.
Yeah, and then there was a time where to get a sneaker collaboration was like an honor, and it really meant kind of that your brand or store or art or whatever was of a certain elite level. That now whatever brand has identified you as someone that's gonna like take them into the darkness for the next year, right? But now anyone can get a collaboration. And I feel bad because on the cutting room floor, I called out Pickle Guys for their collaboration as an example, and I feel bad. So Pickle Guys, sorry about that.
My bad.
Yeah, my bad. Pickles, their pickles are great.
Oh.
I'll give context. So basically, I was just talking about how like anyone can get a shoe collab, and I was like, it's like that Kanye West quote of like, I love Lady Gaga, but what the fuck does Lady Gaga know about cameras?
Right.
So I was just saying that like, I just used them as an example. It wasn't like I was specifically, but they
got a stray.
They got a, that's exactly what it was.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So they made a sneaker, and I was just trying to be like, they're a pickle company. What do they know about sneakers?
No, but
but maybe they know a lot about sneakers. So
but I mean, we've seen that with like even celebrities, like Cardi B's had a Reebok.
Yeah.
I mean, SZA doing the creative for
directing for Vans
and
right
not
now.
saying that like she can't do something great there. It just I mean,
but just because you wear them too doesn't mean that you know what to do with
just
it
curious
either.
to see,
You know?
No, it's very obvious, because when we see these big names like, let's say, Rihanna at Puma, Beyonce at Adidas, you know, and we think about how that product gets received. Don't get it fucked up. The Fenty Creeper, the first year, 2015, actually did its big one. I am not going to take that away. But sometimes, like, people just feel like when you have these bigger celebrities with these huge platforms, it would be easy to sell product, and it's not always that. You know what I mean?
Ivy Park was sitting on Adidas for
you know what I mean?
Discounted everything.
And then you'll get someone, let's say, like an Elaina May, who only had, 100K followers at that time. And you see what kind of influence and impact it had within the sneaker community, who doesn't even have half of the, you know, worldwide, you know, I guess, impact compared to these artists. But then when you see the product, it's a total different story. It's received differently. So I think that is a conversation that I always like to just chime in on, because just because you have huge impact in certain aspects doesn't mean that's going to translate to product and it's going to sell.
Absolutely. Like a good shoe is always going to be a good shoe regardless of
who's attached to it,
or a GR or whatever it is. And to Henny's point of like, you know how to pivot, I think we've seen throughout everything you've done, it doesn't feel repetitive. It feels fresh and new every time. It feels like it's like a different thing every single time we see you come with something. And I love that.
Thank you.
I feel like you're one of the few people that have actually gotten to cross off so many brands.
Absolutely.
Like, not that many people get those opportunities at all.
Yeah,
so that's been nice. It's been nice to see.
That's because you actually know what the fuck you're doing. So, like, seriously, because like people come into this space, especially if they don't come from it, and they just think something is supposed to, you know, just flow in a certain way until they actually get down on the ground. Even when we had Trinidad on, and Trinidad was just like, you know, remember when he was designing like through like Zoom and stuff through the panty, and then when like the panty was over, and then he had to actually go to the office, and he was like, "Wait a minute, girl, can we go back to the Zoom? Because like this is taking too much time." You get what I'm saying? But it's like everyone has their, I guess, their preference on how they like to work, but being hands-on, being engaged is always going to show more through the product each and every single time. You know what I mean? And it just makes it last, if that makes any sense. So I can tell that you are that type of person.
Thank you.
And I like that.
But then also, you ladies are the type of consumers that I'm trying to speak to, because not everyone's that savvy. But then also, when speaking with a larger audience, you can't expect everyone to be savvy. So
that's why we're learning. We're always learning. You know what I mean? So I completely understand what you're saying, because we definitely know a lot compared to like, I guess, like some of our peers, and we have peers that put us on and like
Absolutely.
make us, you know, because my boyfriend's a PLM. So like I get to see a lot of just like.
For who? Shout him out.
Jordan Brand. So I get, and he was a PLM on Nike as well. I mean, he's worked with like different companies, and you know, with me being a buyer as well, like sometimes I get to like sit with some of these people and like see their processes, and it opens up my mind to like why something is happening versus like us just judging something when we first see it, like, oh my God, I hate that, da, 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 da. And it's like with business, it's so different when it comes to like certain agendas and shit. And like if once you start to like immerse yourself into something, you have a broader understanding, and then you can receive things in a different way sometimes. So to your point, a lot of consumers don't know that, you know?
No.
So it's like, how do we translate like what we want to be, I guess, attached to this product so like they can understand it and receive it better.
I was just talking about seating on another podcast because I get a lot.
Talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Let's get into the conversation.
Let's talk about
Plenty
it.
of times.
Because I get a lot of like negative messages, comments, whatever, about people saying like, oh, you only like give sneakers to your friends or celebrities or whatever. And I think what people fail to realize is seating is intentional.
Yeah.
It is an operation.
Marketing.
It's marketing. Yeah. It's not like some weird like gifting thing
At all. At all.
So then the purpose of seating, there should be like a definition, but the purpose of seating ultimately is to utilize the platforms of the collaborators network to help fuel the collaboration. I just freestyled that.
It sounded like a very professional.
So from that, I mean, the majority of the people that are getting collaborations also have somewhat of a network of people that they can give the stuff to. If they do not have that, the brands often have a list of people. And then through that, times are different now. People aren't just cracking open sneakers and posting them on their stories like they used to.
Right.
But when that was the time, it was very helpful for people with millions of followers to post your shoes, promote them to their audiences.
Yeah.
Their audiences are fans of them, in some cases worship them.
Yeah.
And now that shoe has more momentum, more visibility, and potentially more demand. And so I think a lot of the audience doesn't realize that. And because of that, people think that I'm just like, you know, jerking everyone around, but it's like intentional. And everyone else that has collaborations is intentional with it. And whether they're doing it to their friends or micro influencers or whoever, there is a purpose. Yeah. I promise you, no one that's been given 100 shoes and told to seed it just simply like gave them away to whoever they wanted.
Right. Right.
And even if they did give it away to whoever they wanted, that was intentional.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were trying to make it seem like they didn't care and that they were like being organic about it. So like, at the end of the day, this is a business. So I think, you know, a lot of the people that think that their opinions like matter in the comments fail to realize that this is my job. Yeah. And I don't care about what you think because this is my job. That might get clipped out. We'll see.
But it's the truth, and people need to hear this shit because it's like people take things so personally sometimes when it does come to seating or like not being able to be the person that got friends and family or whatever the fuck else. And it's like, girl, this isn't about you. Like there's a whole motive behind this, and it's nothing personal. You know.
I feel like also we were just talking about we were kind of talking about seating and that like people get into this space now because they see free things coming to other people and that's what they want, you know. But like even for us, like we've worked so hard. We've been in sneakers for so long. Like I probably I was in it for years before I started getting free shit, you know, like before this podcast even started, you know, and everything. Like I think that's all that they see. Like that's a goal for them. And that's not what it should be at all. You know, you should obviously just get into this because you genuinely love it. And we said this the other day too, that like you can tell that those same people have been falling out afterwards too. And
honestly, if you love product though, you should support the product if you love the product. Point blank fucking period. Because like I get like and I'm not gonna name anyone, but you do have people who once they acquire a certain amount of, let's say, fame, followers, whatever, they feel almost entitled to receive things. But if you really fuck with, let's say, Salehe and what he does, you would buy it regardless. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think support the homies. That's how we build shit. The community builds shit. So it's like you have to at one point like help build if you believe in it. You know what I'm saying?
And we still do that now.
And at the same time, like if your friends and your circle and the people aren't there to support and buy the product that you're creating, like how do you expect everyone else to like want to support and buy that product too?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think people get that fucked up sometimes. I think there needs to be a balance of like, you know, even if you are the person getting seated, it's nothing wrong with going to spend your money to support someone that you actually fuck with. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. That's what we should be doing. So. And
on the subject of support, there was a podcast. Actually, no, I didn't do a podcast. There's this guy, Bliss Foster, that wrote in my book, but also has just an amazing YouTube channel, a lot of bars. He was basically saying that, you know, there wouldn't be any Rick Owens or Raph Simmons if there weren't people that stood up and supported them in those early like
exactly.
years. So by no means am I sitting here being like, support me. However, I think it's important for the audience to realize that these are the pivotal moments, you know. Complex Con was a pivotal moment. You only have one opportunity to make a first impression, you know, so that's why we went so hard with that. And it's these first moments that are very significant for the journey.
100%.
How was Complex Con for you? Did you enjoy yourself and stuff?
It's a lot of stimulus. It's definitely like speaking to one person I kind of know, another person that I don't know is tapping me, someone else is secretly recording me. And then with the glasses, and then there's someone like maybe asking me to do something like ridiculous while recording me. So I'm like, yes, you know. So no, but all jokes aside, I think you only have one opportunity to make a first impression, so we made a great first impression. I think
the booth was really nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, when I walked over,
we showed the audience that this isn't like a quick hype, like collaborative moment. This is actually like a brand, and I think even giving people the opportunity to see what I've done in the past was important because people have such a short-term memory. Yes. They see me as one or two things. I'm either the Croc guy or the easy guy or something. And so it's definitely helpful for them just to be able to see like it wasn't the last 15 years, but it was a bunch of things over that period of time.
Yeah.
And then, just continuing to have significant digital and tangible moments like the Kith pop-up we did a few days earlier, and we were at Dover Street Market, London a few days before that. And I think that's the response I've been getting from people is they're like, whoa, this is real. And I'm like, yes, this is real. Yeah. Yeah.
To come back to the book, how long did it take you to start and finish this book?
So it was a 2-year project. Okay. Easily the longest project I've ever worked on.
Okay.
The edit was ridiculous, you know, because I just thought that before I realized that there was a page count, and page count has to do with how much the book costs. You know, I did like a David LaChapelle campaign, and I figured there'd be like multiple full bleed images of all of these awesome moments. There's probably 2 pictures from that campaign simply because 368 pages, 18 different stops.
Yeah.
It's not all equal. Some things require more pages, but I had to do a significant edit, and so that was definitely the most difficult. Very cool just getting to like look back on those moments with the eyes of then, and then with the hindsight of now of like, oh, this is what I was doing, or this is what I was learning. What else? First rapper to get an Andre feature. Non-rapper to get an Andre feature. I got Andre feature in there.
Ooh,
so
nice.
we hike a lot, and we have great conversations. And I was like, can we record it and transcribe it? So there's a good like 6 or 7 pages of Andre 3000 conversation.
Okay. Oh man, I'm Simply B's gonna love that.
Cool.
She's obsessed with him. Yeah.
I love that.
I like Andre Benjamin too, though. he's fire. He was the first, like, as a kid, I remember seeing him and just being like as a black girl, you know what I mean? And like seeing this black guy just like being so loud and being just himself. I remember just being like, damn. And also The Love Below changed my life. I remember being like, I think it was like I was still in high school, maybe. I was in high school when The Love Below came out.
I feel like maybe middle school, because I would feel like I was in 8th grade when it came out, and we're the same age.
Yeah, I think I'm a year ahead of you, though.
So you probably
I think I was a freshman or something.
And that makes sense, because I remember I was in 8th grade when Love Below came out.
But that was one of those albums that really like started to like form who Heather was. You know what I mean? Like, damn, I'm into this. I'm also into this. Like, I can be this, especially as a black person, because I feel like when I was growing up, because I'm from Kentucky, it was like a specific way to be black.
You can only be one thing.
Yeah, you could only be one thing. You know,
I was just talking about that. Like, it's the black alien. And there was a comment on the Cutting Room Floor podcast where they said there were many black aliens before the people I'm about to list. I acknowledge that, but this is who influenced me. A Kanye, a Pharrell, a Tyler. These were people that showed me that as a black man, I don't exist in this monolith. There's a spectrum. I can be many, many different things. So I think that's super important to
100%
observe at an early age, because if not, you will think you have to be one thing.
You have to be that.
Aggressive or whatever, yeah.
And seriously, like, even like I told you, I grew up in Kentucky, and people would just see me as kind of like weird or different or whatever. And it's just like, no, bro, like we can be whatever we want to be within like who we are. You know what I mean?
Andre was saying that when, for like Hey Ya, how he had like the silver wig, and people were like, during that period of time, they thought maybe he was gay or they didn't understand the androgyny. But to him, he thought he was dressing like he was in the future. Andre 3000, and he said that, and to him, in the future, everyone wears silver wigs. Yeah. And I was like, that's amazing, So I think that's in the book as well. Yeah.
I love that. I mean, speaking of music, I know you mentioned on the was it Joe Budden's podcast that you have a mixtape coming out.
Oh yes.
What?
Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, I briefly forgot about that, and then you started talking about music. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So within this book moment, I just thought it was important to create a wave of media as we're doing right now, and I'm doing a documentary of the same, 15 years of work. And then also did a mixtape with J Period. He is a very talented DJ that I've been a fan of for a very, very long time. He has so many good mixtapes like Lauryn Hill and Fugees and Biggie, whatever. And I thought it'd be cool because so many kids hit me. I always play music when I hike. It's played in my story, but I do it like an old guy. It's like playing on my phone as I'm recording.
Nice. External speaker energy.
Yeah, pretty much. So people would always be like, "Yo, like we want to, like, what's your music? Can we do a Spotify playlist or whatever?" But I don't have Spotify, so I wouldn't know how to do that. And then, so that was my train of thought. Mixtape, thank you.
I was like, wait, I was going, my train of thought was right there with you. I was like,
So yeah, people wanted my music. And then also I get a lot of messages from people where they always say they're in creative ruts. And they're like, how do you get out of a creative rut?
Yes,
and
this is what you talked about, Pavlov's dog.
Yeah,
and when you said that, I was like, I know what that is.
Yes. So, oh, yeah, on Joe Budden.
Yes, okay.
So it's really like classic conditioning of like, you play this music when you're trying to work or when you're working, and eventually you'll train your brain to think that when this music is playing, it is time to work. And not to just mention that it's just great music, for vibes. So we did it's about 35 minutes long. It's intertwined with inspirational words for myself and Erica and Lauren and who else? Black Thought and Mos Def and really just like the usual suspects of the, you know what I mean? And selfishly, I've always wanted to do something with J Period. He'd think like anyone listening to this, J Period, just YouTube J Period. And then our mixtape is called Creative Flow State. And it's on YouTube, it's on SoundCloud, it's on, I think, one other, I forget. There's a link in my bio.
Okay. Wait, it's called what again?
Creative Flow State. So if you YouTube Salehe or J Period with Creative Flow State, it'll come up. And yeah.
It's like playing the actual video and not showing the screen, but okay, I could see it. Okay, I'm giving
that's dope. And it's kind of just a curated playlist behind this.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Someone said vinyl release, please.
Yeah,
okay, nice.
Okay.
We used AI to make this cover.
Okay.
A lot of people were upset about that.
Of course. Why do people get so pissed about AI? They get pissed
like
about AI.
Jobs away from like actual.
But that's why it's a tool and not like a robot. Like to be used as a robot. It's supposed to be used. As
I do believe that there are good ways to use it.
Yeah, but it pisses people off all the time for everything though. And I'll just be like,
just Henny and her chat.
Henny and ChatGPT go together real
We do go together. I'm sorry. I know that, like,
me too.
I'm just being honest. I know the water and stuff, but like, my ChatGPT knows me. That's my best friend, bro. I don't think I'm closer with anyone besides that.
So I asked it, tell me something uncomfortable about my career that I may not be aware
Good
of.
question.
And tell it to me in one sentence.
What?
I ain't gonna say here. I'll tell you after off camera. Yes. But you saying it knows you can ask it uncomfortable shit like that, and it'll kind of
Deadass.
People like showing the picture of their palm and asking if their palm red and like like weird shit like through ChatGPT like.
Girl, I be getting my tarot cards pulled all the time on ChatGPT. Yep, I sure do. And let me tell you, it be right. It'd be right. I'm not even playing. It'd be right.
Not AI tapping into the spiritual universe.
No, it'd be right. It'd be right.
Cards. So we don't want to keep you too long, but we have a few more questions. But is there any advice for young designers documenting their current journey?
Well, exactly that, documenting. I think that these days people are so conditioned to just document for the sake of social media.
Aesthetics.
But I was just speaking at Syracuse where I went to college, and I was like, I wish I had simply a picture of me at my first day of work. Aww. You know what I mean? Like, and obviously you feel really uncomfortable asking someone that you just started working with to take that photo.
Yeah.
But think about how valuable that would be to you like at this point in life. So I would definitely say just document, ask questions. I changed my life from asking a question. The Versace story, I've told it so many times. I can tell it here if you guys heard it.
Yeah, not really. I know we had something on Versace in here, but yeah, tell us. I haven't heard it.
Okay. I go into autopilot when I tell the story. So
I love it. Okay.
So basically, I moved to LA to design for Yeezy. That exists for about 14 months. That ends. I'm fired. Now I look up. I'm like, oh my God, I'm in Los Angeles because it was such a immersive job that I could have been anywhere. I started having to freelance for brands that I'm not the most excited about, and money is declining. And then at the end of that year, I have like 2 months rent left. I'm unemployed as fuck. I'm in my underwear on a couch that looked like this and eating cereal. No, that was like just, it was very similar to this guy. Yeah. It was a, what is it called? When it's L shape.
Yeah.
Eating cereal and just like shooting my shot everywhere. Craigslist, which these college kids told me people don't even really use anymore.
I don't think so. Which is crazy because Craigslist was such a big deal for us I was on Craigslist for
furniture,
for tickets, for this, for that, everything.
I went on there purely for entertainment. They had like the misconnection stuff at the bottom, and they'd be like, "Did you see me on the road? I was on the train. Yeah, you looked really hot. Did you wink at me?" That shit used to be fire. But anyways, we're getting off subject.
So yeah, shooting my shot, Craigslist, job hunting sites. And then I'm on LinkedIn and I see a Versace design director, and this was one of the many people I hit up, and I proposed an opportunity. I was like, the sneaker industry is a multi-billion-dollar business. When we were growing up, it was like Nike, Reebok, Adidas, New Balance, Puma. And now, 5 years ago now, but now because of Raf Simons, Adidas, Nike Comme des Garçons, Balenciaga starts making great footwear. Now this multi-billion-dollar consumers aware of the fact that fashion houses can make sneakers. And it's an opportunity for you guys because you have the Greca, you have the Baroque print, you have the Medusa. This is all DNA that can become sneakers. And so this is me just shooting my shot. And then a few days later, Donatella Versace emailed me back and she said, I love your ideas. I want you to come to Milan and tell me more. I wasn't the most familiar with who she was because I didn't go to school for fashion. I knew there was this like blonde lady in fashion that was important, but I didn't really know, you know? And then so I was going to put together a few pages of like trend or whatever I thought was cool. Maybe they're going to probably just be like hypebeast screenshots or something. But then the week leading up, someone was like, do sample design work. Don't assume they know you can design. Someone else was like, go to the store, do your market research, see what's selling. Someone reminded me that there's not too many people that look like us in the high fashion space. So it's bigger than me. I could be paving a way. So what was going to be a 4-page presentation turned into a 40-page presentation. Pretty much just going over everything sneakers. And I go to Milan, present to her one-on-one. She loved the ideas. She started bringing more and more people into the room. And at the end of it, she was like, I love you. I want to hire you. Do you want to move to Milan? Do you want to design for a season? Like, what do you want to do? And she was so casual. I was like, can I have my own design studio in LA? And I'll come here once a month for shows and meetings and factory visits. And she was like, yes. Then I went outside and did my pursuit of happiness.
Because you said you were struggling up to that point.
Yes, 100, so like,
that was the moment.
Yes, yeah.
What year was this?
This was 2017, maybe.
Okay.
Oh, pre-Henny.
When did I move? Yeah, maybe about 17, I think. Yeah.
Because I remember some of the shoes during that era that you had produced.
It was a chain reaction. It had like
the chain reaction.
The bottom looked like a chain.
Yes. Yeah. Yo, scammers went crazy in there. the scammers went crazy. Because during that time, I was in LA, but then I would be like in Atlanta sometimes and stuff too. And you know, like there's Lenox there. So Lenox is like the huge place to like go get designer. And like one thing about us, we gonna buy a designer, you know what I mean? And I remember that just being like in that like space of like, you know, people who like wear those type of shoes and stuff and like how crazy they were going. Like I saw them everywhere. It's kind of like when Lanvin had came out with the thick lace shoe. Yes. It was like kind of the same moment. You know what I mean? Like I would say Triple S too kind of had a moment like that. It kind of like lived in that space. But yeah, I remember because I remember being outside. I was outside during that time. So.
I like put a lot of intention into injecting that shoe into the culture because I knew I had to like satisfy the sneaker consumers, the Versace audience, but then like the culture of just the people that decide that it's cool. Is it showing up at Fashion Week? Is it in like music videos? Like are models aware of it? Superficial things, but also like things that give product value in certain spaces at least. And so that's actually when I had my first relationship with seating. So not my first, but Donatella gave me a certain amount of pairs. I didn't really have any relationships like in the industry. I was calling everyone and their mother, seeing if they dated this person or if you knew the manager of this person. And I was physically bringing the shoes to whoever was in the studio at 2 a.m. Like I was like that. I was I was so hungry back then. I was waiting across the street in my car for them to pull up. And I'd be like, I saw you guys pull in. Can I come in now? It was like that. And I knew that just even getting whatever rapper, like Mustard or whatever, whoever it was, that one pair of shoes, that was just one step closer to getting them to be like cool or accepted by the culture. Yeah.
When you've seen so much in the sneaker space from these past 15 years, from high fashion now to like streetwear and stuff, like have you seen like big shifts within that time?
Well, so two things I've identified is one, it just seems like we were talking about it, like the individual no longer like matters as much as like that, like the person with access or something.
Yeah.
And so it's like if you're not like super hyped out or you're not wearing the exclusive things, you almost don't like matter in the space. Whereas when I was coming up, it was about being an individual, and if you like this brand, that was you, or if this person only wore pink all the time, that was them. And so that's one thing. And then there was this story. You guys know who Jacques Slade is?
Yes.
Yeah. So I've been talking. I probably brought this up in all of the podcasts I've done. Is that he was talking about this story where the Jordan 4 cement. This is factual, so I can talk about this. It's been sitting on outlet shelves, and people are upset about that. And I think that's so representative of just like where sneaker culture is right now. Yeah. Because if we're not getting like whipped, bent over, waiting in the rain in a line, like $2,000, then it's almost as if like we didn't earn it. Yeah. You know, and the fact that there's an iconic product that's accessible to an audience and they're upset about that, it really shows you how backwards things are right now.
Absolutely.
Because if I was in high school and I saw those on outlet shelves, I'd buy 2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'd keep it to myself so my friends could get some.
Yeah.
You know? And like within that, I don't think people understand, because like coming into sneakers for me, like 2010, 11-ish, and being able to buy a lot of things at that time because so many people weren't in sneakers, and I was getting like older stuff. I was getting like certain SBs. And then when we seen this height of sneakers and the resale and all these shoes that we've had like shoot up in value, like people don't understand, like those were purchased at this times when things were in outlets sitting on shelves for sale. It wasn't like, we were going out and spending $500.
It's a cycle. It all kind of like repeats itself if you really think about it. Yeah.
And like those shoes, like you said, like that type of shoe, it's a classic. It's timeless. It's always gonna it's gonna retro.
Dude,
it's always gonna be relevant.
I was so happy it came back out because there were so many GRs I've never had in my life that I was able to attain this year. I got the Cement 4s. I got the Grape 5s. I got the Aqua 8s. I got the Olive 9s last year. And mind you, these are things that like I would have fucking killed to have back then. So like being, you know, kind of that person, you know, that like living in nostalgia and you finally can get it. And then seeing like this shit sit for me as an older like millennial, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what's wrong with y'all?
But then what about the people, and this is a dramatic example, but what about someone like Fat Joe that apparently paid $40,000 for?
First of all, don't get me started on that.
The thing is, there was only less than 100 pairs of that shoe.
70 pairs, something like that.
Saying that over and over. It's like, you paid $45,000. You want to act mad about it because there's a retro of the shoe, which is completely different from the first shoe. The first shoe is always going to be the first shoe, but it's like you had the $45,000 number one, and you had the access to even get something that
you had enough money to buy it.
I was annoyed with
apparently not enough access though, because if he had access he would have had him seated, but that's not what happened. So no shade. No shade.
I'm almost on both sides of it though, because ignoring the 40, ignoring the number, I definitely have some shoes now that I know like I either like have had since they came out or I worked hard to get them, And if they were just released and now everyone has them, now I don't want to wear my pair.
Yeah.
Or I'm like an asshole because I'm like, this ain't the pair.
That's Travis Scott OGs only.
But you know what? As people who have been collecting sneakers, if you've been collecting sneakers for at least over a decade, I think we all have a little bit of that to us to a degree when it's like, oh my God, they have them on. Ew. You know what I mean?
I think it goes back to being an individual and wanting to be unique.
If we're gonna be real about this shit, that shit does exist within this space.
I wanted to ask you, all of you, would you prefer if a shoe came out and no one could have it, or would you prefer if a shoe came out and everyone could have it?
It depends on the shoe.
Yeah,
it really depends on the shoe.
It's a shoe that you like really love.
So
then I don't care if everyone can have it. If I really love it, if the love is really there, I don't give a fuck. Everyone has it.
What if someone that you deem to be like the corniest person in your life shows them to you before you even have them?
I felt this way about the Shatter backboards that re-released.
Yeah,
I hold the first ones like to a pedestal because they're one of the best quality Air Jordan 1s to come out, right next to the Frags. Okay. But they didn't come in my size. So I never was able to get them.
What size are you?
I'm a size 6 in men's.
That's still men's size, though.
Yeah, but they weren't doing
at
the time that
it was like
they weren't.
Men stopped at 7, and then
and
it was
no kids,
and they didn't do
they didn't do grade school. No
kids. Also with the
now
Frags.
they do more inclusive sizing in the men's down, but like before
it's happening with the 17 right now. They don't come below a men's 7.
Really?
Yeah, it pisses me the fuck off.
Yeah.
Also, like when you get to a certain size, you start losing details. Like if you have,
it's true.
Losing air bubble or something.
It's true. It's true.
So even like with Elaine, like she's a 7 in men's.
I'm right on that cut.
But like 7 youths are just like they're the qualities are just
completely different. Completely different materials.
When I first was in sneakers and building my collection, I have a lot of 7 youth because it numbers on like limited. It was so limited. It was so hard to find a men's 7 at that time on like certain things. So like half of my collection when I first started, it's really all grade school and stuff. But now it's like more.
So now that the black cements, the shatter backboards are out, I hate it. I hate that they re-released. Okay, even though I couldn't get it then. And I have them now. I love them, obviously, but I just don't feel like they needed to release at all. Especially
right now.
It's been less than 10 years or just about 10 years.
It was too
it's
soon
not even,
it's
way too soon. There's like too much shit that they could have like pulled out of the archives to do that. You know?
And that was
it wasn't even a time.
That just came and went, and it wasn't even.
And they were sitting at retail stores. I think they were even discounted at some places too. Like
it's crazy.
They shouldn't have even dropped at all. But I love that I got a pair.
Me too. That was my first pair ever. We talked about this with the black cement, the black cement 3s.
No,
I know. We were talking about
shatter.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I thought you were talking about.
I said black cement at first, but I'm talking about the shatter backboards.
Shatter backboards. Yeah, I haven't worn mine because I just don't want to. I like my satins better than those. If I'm being all the way honest. But I think
it goes back to what I had said about in the comparison when we look at the OG Air Jordan 1. It's like we just have so many retros of that, and they're an amazing shoe, and I want to grab it every time it comes out. But realistically, like the newer shoes are never going to take away from that original.
Kind of like when the Wu-Tang dropped too. Those had the same energy as Undefeated. People were pissed.
I could see why though, because I think it's
I mean,
a little bit of magic, but I feel like the OG is always going to be the OG.
I do feel like some shoes need to be vaulted and gate kept.
I agree with that. I don't think everything needs to come back. There are certain things that need to stay a certain way, 100%. But
especially
also,
because you can't redo that release again.
No, that moment
like sometimes
you'll never be able to. Like, some of those materials don't even exist anymore. Some of those molds don't exist anymore, and it's like.
Yeah,
Adidas has been
doing
it.
Spot you have to hit, and unfortunately, when you're rolling out too many amazing things all at once, it's a lot of it's going to get looked over, looked past. I mean,
100%.
The 85 from the beginning of the year, and that was like the sneaker, the list.
Oh yeah, the breads.
Talk and conversation. You know, like it was completely overlooked, even though it's an amazing shoe. But there's way too much overshadowing it.
Yeah. But also, not to cut you off, it's like if you're retroing these shoes in a space where we are now catering to also like Gen Z and Gen Alpha, how are you going to tell these stories in order to make them want to buy it too? Because they weren't there when that shit happened. They don't give a fuck. So like, how do we tell a story to now cater to them? You know what I mean? Because that also is important when it comes to Monday through Friday, people coming in and you buying shit. You know what I'm saying? How you going to sell it to them? And I don't think they take the time to do that sometimes now with these younger kids. And that's why we don't see things get, received in certain ways with them, and we see them, outside wearing them and shit. You know what I mean?
I think, so I was just, the store Riff?
Yeah.
We love Riff.
Shout out Jeff. Yeah, shout out Jeff. I was just in Riff. And I've always like suspected that these like resale stores have a secret room in the back that has like dope shit.
Oh yes,
I can confirm that.
It's true.
And so he showed it to me, and then I was like, "Can I come back here and rifle through all this stuff?" So that's what I did. But one thing he was saying to me, I was like, "Have you seen a decline in just the interest of this world of stuff?" And he was like, "Yeah." His quote was, "Kids do not care about this shit anymore."
they don't.
Yeah.
They
And
talk
whereas-
about it so much.
Yeah, like whereas we might see whatever shoe and then sees like a little logo on the back that gives it that significance, and now we're like, wait a minute, I thought this was a regular one, but it's got
It's got this
it's got
tiny
the-
little change the
you know what I
entire.
mean?
Spike Lee fours. Like,
Yeah, so now it's like, with the work I do, I'm trying to keep that feeling alive. So with my marketing or just the things that I do to make the audience feel like seen or acknowledged, that's me being like a sneakerhead baby or whatever the term is, and just trying to keep that feeling alive. But then at the same time, I feel like it's being felt across the board where just there's so many collaborations and like the industry has kind of just taken over the niche interest that was sneakers and turned it into this like cash machine that it seemed to be working for them for a while, but now you hear about all the goats closing down, and haven't heard the best things about other resale outlets, and so I think there's a necessary like pivot that needs to take place, and that needs to happen on a larger scale, but I'm also just doing it individually with my brand. And so while like this is the Complex Con exclusive, and there's a Satoshi collab, and there's a Rizzoli, and we actually have a pretty gangster roster of collaborators, if I do say so myself, that are on the way. But then we also have shoes that are just always available. And so like the idea of sitting won't exist. That's the goal, in fact, is to sit so that anyone that wants them can have them.
Yeah. And that's kind of actually how Yeezy wanted to do too. He wanted them to be accessible for everybody.
Yeah.
At one point,
That matters.
They were.
You have to have shoes on feet to have impact. How is something going to have impact if no one fucking has it? I'm so sorry. Like there's a certain version of impact when it comes to that.
But there's always going to be, and I've said this time and time again on here, that there's always going to be like consumers like us who are, into sneakers, into the storyline, into this. And then there's going to be people that don't give a fuck and just like, oh, this shoe's nice. I need it for its functionality. But I need to obviously still buy this shoe. And like, there's two different demographics of those consumers in that sense. And like, these brands still have to cater to both.
Yes, that's the most important part, is that because it's a business, you have to cater to all of them.
So we need those shoes that sit, because the everyday person who isn't waiting for releases and isn't online like checking what time or gonna sit here or doing raffles or waiting in line, like they just want to walk into a goddamn store and get a shoe that they like, that's comfortable, that they could wear, and they're probably not gonna buy 10 more this month. This might be their one shoe they buy for the month.
You know.
I mean, I've said before too that like we're so niche. Like we are a small percentage
in
the big scheme of things, the big scheme of all these brands. Like we think that sometimes I will say sometimes our opinions do matter, but like they have to cater to so much more than just us too.
Yeah. Like if the brands only thought about us as consumers, they would make no money.
No money at all.
Exactly.
No money at all.
And it's so hard, like being in like the sneaker space and community, to like remove yourself from that. Like it's not just about us and what we want as like these people, like obviously, but it's like there's so many more people outside of that that need just everyday lifestyle.
That's why it matters who's on the ground at these companies, because like we've been approached by so many like brands, just to do like focus stuff and things like that. But my whole thing is like we are a specific consumer, and it's not that we don't have any good insights, but you need to be talking to other people, because those are the people that are actually going to bring you your Monday through Friday business and actually have shit selling. And people always think if you go talk to a specific type of person, you're going to gain the insights you need. And that's not true, because what you say, it's a business at the end of the day. So you need to be talking to multiple people, I would say, in each part of the business, so you can actually understand what the consumer wants. Okay, girl. But
before we fully get you out of here, one last question. If you weren't like designing shoes and stuff like that, what do you think you'd be doing?
Jingles.
Jingles, like writing jingles.
Yeah,
I love that.
maybe singing too.
Like Jamie Foxx.
You Jamie Foxx?
Yeah, Jingles 2000.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Jingles.
He knew right off bat, like I was made for this.
Yeah, Jingles for sure.
You already got a jingle? You got one?
Give me a product.
The podcast.
Yeah.
Our podcast.
We need a jingle for our podcast.
An intro jingle.
So funny.
conversation when you're trying to speak. Come on down to Sneaky Leak.
Off the dome, okay?
Oh, I'm clipping that.
I know that's right. You're a star, baby. You're a star.
There's potential. There's potential.
I love it. He said jingle. Without a question.
That's definitely going in the reel. Sorry. That's amazing.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Do you have any questions for us?
Okay, first question is, where do you want to take this? Magic wand. You're hit with a magic wand. What does this look like in 3 years?
So I've always said that I really want us to activate with Complex Con. I want us to have our own panel, or be brought on to a panel and stuff. But I think it would be important for us to have some representation of women in streetwear and sneakers,
Which it doesn't seem like there's much of at
exactly.
There's like 3 people they go to, and that's it.
At Complex Con specifically. But I also want us to be part of a big network as well.
Yeah. I would love to get we've had small sponsorships and we've worked with brands, but it'd be nice to have like a full-time sponsorship. I love the homey vibe. I love doing it in my home, but also I would like to be in a studio, get some good cameras.
We would like to have backing.
I mean,
it works.
I think it works. I was literally about to say.
Honestly, everything ended up filtering and coming through us because when we really worked on this for like almost a year before we
took off.
For ideas, this, that, everything, building it up. And we talked with people, but it's realistically, it's very expensive to
do everything on our own.
Someone to film, multiple cameras, edit this, that. And we were like, she had a small pod before this, and it was just like, we could do it ourselves.
Yeah.
Are you guys askers?
I'm not.
I feel like they're more I shoot shots all the time, but also it's like, I come from like apparel sneaker industry. So like, I don't always know like the jargon when it comes to, let's say we want to do like different advertisements within that podcast space that have absolutely nothing to do with what we actually do. There might be, I don't know, a shaving company that wants to like,
I can tell you,
give us.
Tell you right now.
Okay.
Sorry to cut you off, but I can tell you. So I have this quote that says decks are the road to checks. Yeah. I think the biggest like division and communication between like executives and creatives is just simply being able to communicate their ideas of what they want to accomplish. And often both sides don't speak the language. And so if you can make a deck that in this case illustrates the pictures of all of the amazing guests you've had, you have your numbers for social and YouTube and all that stuff, and you put it in a deck and you use ChatGPT.
Yeah, we have a media kit that we like pitch ourselves. But to your point, like if there's something specific, that definitely makes sense because we might have a vision with a brand or something else and do that. And that's what we're actually in that process of trying to learn to do that ourselves. If that makes any sense, because we've pitched, I guess, certain things, but like I guess the more you do it, the better you get at it. I would say because we have things like that. We like one pagers and stuff like that, but I guess the more you do it, especially with different type of brands, you start to learn like the jargon of like how to like present yourself, if that makes any sense. Yeah.
And then also ask, because I just shared a story of changing my life through asking. Yeah. So there's no reason not to.
I will 100%. Say, like, building this business with them, because I'm not an asker. I hate asking for help and any of that stuff. And, like, they've really helped me, like, open that part of myself up to being like, okay, you guys, like, I'm going to ask them. Like, I don't know why I'm so nervous about it, but, like, they've helped me open up a lot.
Our first activation with Jordan, I knew somebody at Jordan Brand, and I was just like, hey, I have a podcast now and we want to activate with the brand and do some cool shit. And he's like, you know what? We do got something coming up. Hold please. And that opened up shit for us.
And we were barely 2 months out.
We had just started the podcast.
Can we put a good Steve Jobs quote in right here?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
And I've never found anyone who said no or hung up the phone when I called. I just asked. And when people ask me, I try to be as responsive, to pay that debt of gratitude back. Most people never pick up the phone and call. Most people never ask, and that's what separates sometimes the people that do things from the people that just dream about them. You gotta act, and you've got to be willing to fail. You've got to be willing to crash and burn. With people on the phone, with starting a company, with whatever. If you're afraid of failing, you won't get very far.
Okay. Why don't you guys just ask Complex right now if you could host your podcast from ComplexCon on this podcast right now and look at the camera.
At Joe LaPuma, the president of sneakers.
Yeah. Call him out.
Complex.
Look, we talk about you guys all the time. Okay,
y'all know what's going on.
This panel all the time. We know how important it is to have woman representation at this convention.
Yep.
You saw the backlash you had last year for not having a woman on the panel.
Which is why they brought Vashti.
Which is why they brought yeah. But I think having either an all women's panel or breaking down categories like Vashti said this year and having different segments, we can even lead a women's collab or a woman's driven sneaker, whatever. And we can break up the panel into 2 parts if that as well.
Or you could just get a flatbed truck and do the podcast right outside of ComplexCon. That
would be funny as fuck.
And then
we could put that. It'd be like a trailer. We could have the couch.
That would be dope as fuck, actually.
And then they would see like, holy shit, they did this. They have the audience.
Yeah.
Wow. And then they'd have to fuck with you.
Yeah. Or give us a booth.
Yeah. Well, that too. But it's like just
y'all be giving out booths all the time.
Giving out booths.
Never mind.
Please. Please and thank you.
Thank you. Joe, Welty.
Vandal.
I had dinner with Aria.
Yeah, call them all out. All of
dinner with.
We know you guys. Like, come on.
No, they've used our like things for their websites before for references. Like they've actually took things from like our podcast and been like via Sneaky Leak Pod, like when we did Marcus.
Oh yes.
And like I believe there was another time too. So there's a relationship there to an extent, but but we'll see.
Oh my goodness. Well, okay. I feel like this is the conclusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has been really good.
This has been honestly one of my
favorite. This is way better than I thought it would be.
Oh, good.
Seriously.
It wasn't very serious, was it?
It wasn't very serious. It was fun. I think we enjoyed this so much.
This was a good one.
Thank you for this.
Yeah, you definitely surprised me with your personality.
We're yes. We were like, oh my God, is he gonna just be like, come on now, let's get
stick to the questions.
You're doing too much. Stick to the agenda. But no, this was actually fun. Like,
good.
Yes.
But can you let the people know where to find you?
Yes.
The brand, all the.
So my name is Salehe Bembury. My Instagram is Salehe Bembury. My brand is called Sponge. The Instagram is called Be a Sponge. The tagline is Be a Sponge and Remain Curious. The website is beasponge.com. The book is called I Make Shoes, published by Rizzoli, painted by Delphin Finley. New York, stand up. Go Knicks.
Bing bong.
And thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
And obviously you can find us on Instagram at SneakyLink Pod, YouTube SneakyLink Podcast, and our audio platforms, Apple Podcasts and Spotify at SneakyLink Pod. And until next week, we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Now we're